Boogie could do walls in like 3 minutes. Dude, we don't even need walls. We're using your walls. Your piece, like, yeah, dude. Like, I blew that thing up and put it inside of Neos and inside of Hyperfy, and it works great already as is. In fact, like, there's only a couple walls that don't fully bind together, and I actually like it because it adds a little, like, these little like alcoves you can get through. So yeah, pretty excited to finally be able to put that to work, and it also be it was pretty organic. You know, Infinity Keys knows that I've kind of been waiting on them, and so they approached us finally. That was awesome. Pretty excited.
Yo,
What up?
what it do? Dude, I'm so sorry I didn't remind you to mochi thingy yesterday.
Hey, that's all right.
We literally spoke about it. It's mad.
It's kind of weird because yesterday I did do a mochi check-in, and
Oh,
it doesn't seem to have gone through.
huh.
It's weird because I do my metagame and
Yeah, the
Mala
other one.
Digi one at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah, so do I. I do it one after the other.
Right. And you can see my metagame one went through, but my
Mm-hmm.
Mala Digi one didn't.
Maybe it was um, maybe it was like the server or the back end went down when you went to do the second one, or it just didn't pick it up. Something maybe.
I'm not sure. I think it could be that I confused it somehow because like I started the report and then I went and clicked to start the report again, and it was like, you already have a report started. Finish that one first. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll finish that. And I finished it, thought it was done. But maybe, like, on the back end, like you're saying, maybe it initiated another report, but didn't delete the old report. I don't know. Yo, I just saw a picture of Chair's avatar on one of his posts for the Share What You're Making with Chair and Bacon. It looks so dope. Definitely cool avatar.
What the chair one? Sorry, I'm just helping Martha do something.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
wants to do gymnastics right when community club starts. It's like, okay, let's do some gymnastics then.
That's cool.
But yeah, the chair, yeah, man, I don't know, like, yeah, that's cool, sweetie bird. Yeah, so like, I don't know, like, me and Chair was just chilling. It was after, I don't even know if I think it was after the community call last week. I think,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I saw you guys were all chilling in here afterwards. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Hey, man, what's good?" I was like, "You got an avatar?" I was like, "Bro," because the chair's like pretty simple to make, right? But we kind of,
Right?
he's like, "Well, yeah, I want a chair," and then he's like, I got this mid-journey prompt or stable diffusion prompt." I was like, "All right, cool." And I was like, "What kind of chair do you want, man?" He's like, "I was like, do you want a lazy boy?" He's like, "Yes, the comfiest." I'm like, "Okay, cool, let's
Yes.
go." And it's just like old school metagame days, man. It was a vibe. Like
Nice.
back when we used to just come in and just make memes and just make some crazy stuff real quick.
Was that
Yup.
after the community
Just
call
have
or
a
was
good
that
time.
Bard's night?
Oh, was it Bard's night? It was
It was actually Bars Night. That's right.
yeah, it was
Because
Wednesday. Was that
Yeah,
this
because Thursday was
week?
having
it
his
was our season, our
10
seasoning.
seasoning.
yeah.
That was
Because
two
he
days ago,
moved
right? Yeah, yeah,
Bard's
2 days
Night.
ago.
Yeah, he
Yep,
moved
yep,
Bars
yep.
Night just for that.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a vibe. Yeah, man. Chair avatar, bro. It's there. It's in the world. Like, I'll put a link. Anyone could be chair right now. I should really take that down. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that. No one can be chair again. Yeah, good times.
So are we currently doing? Obviously, currently we're at 6 p.m. UTC. But is this
That's
gonna
5
update
p.m.
you?
It's 5 p.m. right now.
Oh, it's 5 p.m. So it's updated for y'all.
Yeah, we're good, man. Yeah, Jose sorted out on Buzz Night, I think, or no content online.
Because it's 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're actually. I think everything got pushed ahead an hour on accident.
Right
No,
on.
no, no,
Oh,
no, no,
really?
no. Europe is still on winter
Ye-
time, and
Yeah,
the
we're still on
server.
winter time.
Oh, that's
Yeah. You
why.
guys have moved forward. We moved forward in 4 days, and then
Okay.
we'll be aligned once more.
Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
I have other calls that I pushed an hour forward, but I think they're adjusting to American time.
yeah, we're adjusting to you, and then you guys adjust, and then that's where the confusion is like. But wait, we've adjusted, but we've done. Wah!
And then the Mexicans. No, I'm just.
And then you got people in the southern hemisphere, was what Co meant.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
All Mexican.
oh man, I don't know if you guys seen Spaghetti Soup. It's on Lens 2. We should check it out. I recorded that during the 10th seasoning. It's kind of funny.
Nice.
Yeah, check that out when you get some time. Yeah, make spaghetti soup, and it was very yummy. Oh man.
My family has this like old like family stew they always used to make called hot dog stew.
Ooh, I
And
like
it
the
was
sound of that.
and it reminds me of spaghetti stew because it was always like a spaghetti sauce base,
Yeah.
and then like we put carrots and potatoes and then like fry up like sliced hot dog pieces and then throw that in there too. Such a like poor man's meal.
They're the best ones though, like one pasta dish. I used to work in one of Jamie Oliver's restaurants as a waiter and a bartender, and
Mm,
there was one dish I love. Well, there's two dishes I love. Like there was this truffle risotto, amazing.
oh,
I know, it's wild. And then there was like another dish called puttanesca, and that's like,
ooh,
yeah, it's like,
puttanesca.
yeah, man. Yeah, that's like when you said like poor man's dish, it reminded me of that. I was like, man, that's a nice dish, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is. You know, it's funny, like that poor man's dish. You know, like I used to be like embarrassed about it because like, oh yeah, we eat hot dogs and we're poor, yeah. But like I went on a long hike in the Appalachians with a couple friends once, and we had gone through quite a journey where we didn't have much food. We kind of ran out of food, and so we were kind of like just eating anything we could find, and we got to this town, and I was like, yo, like I'm gonna get a bunch of food and just cook a huge big ass meal our first night so I don't have to carry it. And so I bought spaghetti sauce, I bought potatoes, I bought carrots, and I bought some hot dogs, and I made and I made my family's hot dog stew for my buddies. And like the next day we're hiking and like we're all happy and shit, and like these two guys, we sit down, like hang out, like smoke a bowl, and like they're like, dude, I don't know what about that meal, what it was about that meal, but it's like so hearty. It makes me feel so good. I have so much energy. They were like so happy that I made hot dog stew for them that night.
happy days. It's been a crazy week for me. I don't know about you guys.
Crazy.
Crazy. But we made it, we're here. I don't like one thing I'd recommend everyone here do is go make sure you get transactions done on the new ZK EVM that just launched on mainnet.
Yeah.
Go and do that now. Well, not right now if you're not able to. Get to the wallet, go do the transactions because that's going to be a bigger airdrop than the arbitrary
Mm-hmm.
one that happened yesterday.
That's
And
right.
yeah, there's still time. Not financial advice, but it's tech advice. Go interact with the
That's
chain.
right. Testers unite.
Yeah.
Dropping a Cointelegraph article in the Townhall voice chat.
Thank you for that. ZK what? ZK stands for zero knowledge, and ZK sync would be the chain or the tech used on Ethereum, mostly for obfuscation, but all sorts of other stuff too. It would be one of your roll-up chains. So ZK roll-ups are zero knowledge proofs or zero knowledge roll-ups, and they lie in what's called a snark, a ZK snark, a zero knowledge snark. It's snarky. And yeah, like Optimism and Arbitrum, it would be one of the three main biggest roll-up chains. So Optimism is optimistic roll-ups. Arbitrum is kind of also optimistic roll-ups. They're a little bit different. And ZK would be the zero knowledge roll-ups, which is the roll-up chain that Polygon has chosen to go with, rolling out ZK tech on Polygon, which adds to my bullishness on Polygon. And ZK is kind of cool in that with other roll-up chains, they're doing all their stuff like on their own chain, kind of like a side chain or a layer 2 chain. These are technical layer 2s, I guess. But ZK does not require everything to happen on its own chain and then settle on Ethereum. Its tech lays on top of Ethereum. So it's layered on. When you utilize ZK, you're not like changing your chain, changing the network from Ethereum to ZK or ZK back to Ethereum. No, you can use that tech on Ethereum without changing chains, which is something very unique to zero knowledge rollups. And in my opinion, the most secure of all three of those major roll-up chains. I think ZK proofs are the shit.
Yep.
I don't know if that answers any questions there. I didn't get too much into the technicals.
Yeah, it'd be really great when we can like bridge to ZK from subnets. The mainnet is a bit pricey at the minute.
That's for sure. So, any news from anyone, or anyone want to share anything they're working on, or just tell us how you're doing? And totally cool to be silent too.
Word. Everyone's hella zen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're transacting, I'm transacting.
Hey.
I'm trying to find some gas to get gassed over to, yeah.
I imagine some are reading as well. Like, ooh,
Yeah,
what's this?
taking it all in.
Do we have any new members in here right now that haven't been updated how we have been doing community call? Has everyone been?
me
I don't
see.
think so.
I'm
Just
seeing
our
no new faces.
guest.
Yeah.
Right on.
Friday call.
Yeah. Friday snuck up on me.
Right? I thought it was still Thursday, man.
I did too.
It's so funny.
11 a.m.
I was convinced it's a Friday since like Wednesday, or at least it felt
What?
like.
Yeah.
You were
I'm
ahead
just
of
waiting for the hot dogs to defrost.
us.
That's what's up.
Nice.
See, like, you know how they age wine? So I like age hot dogs. I have some. They're at least 2 years old in the freezer.
Oh man.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy. That was hilarious, Waka. Waka can make aged hot dogs too. That's what's up. Yo, the secret to that is slice the hot dogs and fry them in butter, onions, and celery first. Then you throw that into the pot. You can add garlic too. What's going on, Trip? Good to see you.
Hey, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Just
Yo.
chilling. Just kind of first 15 minutes or so of our calls are just kind of hanging out, talking, seeing how everybody's doing, health and wellness checks. Anybody can share whatever they like.
I have
We're
internet for
discussing
the
what's
first
better,
time.
eating hot dogs or a neighbor's dog.
Let's go, Jose.
We
Yeah.
are set up, go. We are set up, but it was an issue because you sent me the router stuff, but it was something from the company. Looks like they pirate their modems, and they disconnect some things from the modem itself. It's just so weird, but looks like 2 ports of the 4 that the modem has doesn't work because the company does that. I don't know why.
Alrighty. Just glad you have internet, my friend. Everything's up from here now. Rising artist, everybody with internet. Jose.
Oh, I love internet. It's the biggest first world problem that I would have if I went anywhere else in the world is
For
that
sure.
I'm used to fiber internet here in America. And going anywhere else is not really I
Yeah, like you
would
feel
have
like your
problems.
computer's breaking down when
I
you're on
just
slow
rig it.
internet.
Well, I feel great. I think it's the first time I can start doing Twitch live stream or whatever. Like I can play with Video Ninja now.
Hey,
It's happened, bro.
that's what's up.
Yes, bro.
That really is a celebration for anybody who doesn't know. This has been a painstaking process. Jose's down in Venezuela and has been trying to get internet for a long time now. And it's just been just like hurdle after hurdle for him to jump over and then waiting and waiting. Then he finally gets internet and he gets shut off again. And it's like, ah. So this is awesome that you finally got it. It's so awesome.
Yes, I will be starting doing my lens. But I will be starting like by Monday. I'm tired as fuck. Maybe I will check lens this weekend, but we are super tired. We didn't sleep yesterday. We had a great ceremony, music, and we were in the middle of sanctuary a sanctuary. It was a big place full of nature and no signal. It was just incredible. And they even have a water source behind the mountain, so it's a great place if everything fucks up. And their plan is to be some kind of, you know, shelter. So pretty cool.
That's really awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they decided to do that in the mountain because they are having provisions about climate change and stuff. So it was super great to see that. And the house was built in the 1700. It was a colonial house. It was a coffee uh, coffee
Plantation?
producer. Yes, plantation. Thank you. Puse la cámara. Épale. Sin querer.
Hey.
Woo!
Good to
Yeah,
see
my
you.
bad. I didn't want to put the camera, but yeah, here I am. Really, I sleep, by the way.
Yeah, so as soon as you all get rested up, we will be we'll be paying attention to your socials, and we're gonna see how on fire you are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Make sure you put some collects on all your good music posts that you put up there so we can support you.
Yeah, for sure. I have to drop out everything and create my strategy.
Yeah.
To yeah, I have to do everything. I think that I already did that a couple of times. I have to refresh a lot and do it for God's sake.
Yeah, well, Bogey will have to show you how to use that one program he used
Oh
to
yeah.
create an NFT that is also a stream itself. So
Yeah,
you
bro. A
can sell your.
broadcaster.
Yeah,
Mm.
go ahead, Bogey.
Yeah, bro. So like, yeah. So you it's called broadcaster. You mint an NFT, and then you get a stream key, a live stream key to live peer, and then like when you go live, it's an NFT. You go to OpenSea. The live stream's playing on OpenSea, and people there's a subscribe button. You could set a subscribe limit for Matic, Wrapped Ethereum, whatever. You can charge people to subscribe and make money just going live that way without being on Twitch and having to go through the whole middleman process. There's no middleman involved, and you can't get banned because it's on chain. It's it's on live peer. Do you know what I mean? There's no authority. Like you could, it's yours. Kind of thing. It's vibes. I like it.
Okay,
You
yeah,
said
we have
that's
to
called.
connect
You
and
said
see
that's
how
called
we can move that
broadcaster.
forward.
Yep, I'm gonna put a link in the chickadee chat right quick. One sec. Oh, there's already there. Thank you, Co.
There is a way we can work with those live streamings and meet tokens. That can be a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see how I can implement me tokens. I did my token, and I really want to see how can I do to draft, a channel for value for onboarding and doing music and stuff. Anyway, I think we are just on time
Yeah.
to receive Trip today. Really happy to
Yep.
have him today.
Yeah. It's actually a good time to move into our first guest for sure. And yeah, that would be Trip, right? Is that right? Is that our first guest? Let me make sure.
But hey, Trip, we don't hear you. I see you are unmuted, but I don't know why. Maybe you are rocked because I think I hear you before. So come back to the Discord and make a quick reset. That can help the issue.
Okay.
Oh, I actually heard him there.
Yeah, it just popped me back in, but I heard you say
Hey, there
pop
we
back
go.
into your Discord. Hold on.
Oh, I don't hear you. Maybe I am rocked. Let me go.
You might be Rogues, Jose.
So, what do you guys want to cover first?
Yeah, so first of all, welcome to our community call Trip. We're glad to have you coming to share. Jose's been pretty excited about getting you on here, and we'd love for you to maybe start off just by telling us a little bit about yourself, whatever you'd like to share, and then you're kind of here to show us a little bit of your personal Web3 journey. In that you have a pretty unique walk and apparently a pretty extraordinary path that you've walked so far. So we'd love to hear.
All right. So hi. I started my Web3 journey about 2 years ago. I was in the weed field at the time, growing cannabis and stuff. And I was in Vegas, and I was at a pop-up event for the grow company I was working for. And across the street, there was a Ledger event, and my cousin was pretty into crypto and had been pretty involved in a lot of things at that point. I had not gotten involved yet, but he was already very involved, and it was this blockchain conference, and I saw the little thing, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go to that. So I walked across the street, and I went after my little pop-up event, and I sat through the little Ledger event. I had no idea that Ledger was a cold storage wallet and that it, it had all these safety features and all this difference. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was a cryptocurrency when I walked in. I had no idea, right? And so I learned all this stuff. They gave me a Ledger, and I went home and I pulled up my Steam to play some video games, and I noticed that the sandbox was missing from my Steam library, and I'd never had a game disappear before. That I had already previously downloaded and that was already in existence, and I had thousands of hours of playtime. I never had it just disappear. So I go online and I'm like, you know what happened to the sandbox? And apparently they took it down because they were changing it into a Web3 game. And so they were sitting down with Square Enix and Atari, and they were going to decide if they were going to do it or not. And so I checked a couple weeks later, and they had done so. So I was like, okay, well, if the contracts got signed and I just learned about this Ledger, I got this little cryptocurrency, all this stuff, right? I was going to go on vacation, and instead I took that money and dropped it into sand at 3 cents, and then I cashed that out at $8.50. Did very well. From there, I jumped into Polka City, which is a passive income metaverse. You buy businesses inside of it, and they pay you every week for holding them in the token. That's how the token gets mined into the system. There is no mining done on it, which is pretty cool. And then from there, I met a guy. His name's Jay. He is the CEO of the Bitbot Society, and he hired me on to help him implement into Polka City his music project, because they wanted to build music venues and different print-on-demand metaverse merchandise for the artists. And I was like, okay, well, you could do that like this. And so we sat down, we went through that. We hired this guy named Broadway. Broadway is amazing. He used to work for 50 Cent. And then Broadway also works for Kevin Hart now for his Confessions from the Heart project. And Kevin had hired a bunch of teams to start all of his stuff, to build out the Discord, to build his website, to build the NFT, to do all these different things and whatever, and animate the show, build out the little metaverse, and add in the screening room and all this stuff. But he hadn't hired anyone to run those after they were built, right? He had just contracted them all to be built. And so after all the contracts were up, Broadway reached out to me and he goes, Trip, everybody's done except me. I'm the only one who's left on the project now, and I have no idea what to do. And I was like, absolutely, buddy, I got you. So I jumped over, got hired onto the Kevin Hart project, and then I ended up reaching out to the CEO of the Crypto Magazine, and I got Kevin on the front cover, and then I got the Bitbot Society inside. I started a project called the Brainstorm Panel, which is an onboarding and educational thing. I write all kinds of different blog posts, articles, different breakdowns, flashcards, all that kind of stuff. And so that's also inside of the magazine. And then I started a company called Cyberspace, which is your portal to Web3. And we are taking all of the best community development pieces from all the different platforms like Twitter Spaces and LinkedIn article writing and Medium and YouTube and Discord and all of these different chat systems and all the different platforms. And we're building a one-stop website where you can go for all of your information on all of your different communities. Communities will have like a cyberspace page, which will be like an OpenSea page almost for their project, but it will be automatically ranked by rarity, and they will be able to verify the team members of Web3 that work for them, as well as list all kinds and customize all kinds of different information on their project. They will have a team chat as well for the people who are verified members of the team, as well as a public chat and a token gated chat for their community directly. We have all kinds of things that we're building in. And that is also inside of that edition of the magazine with Kevin Hart on the cover. I got him as the first person in all of history as the person on the front cover. And then while I was doing all of that, in the meantime, I was working with my guy Steve over at the Bad Empire. He has Bored Ape number 4329. And we put that as the first edible in all of existence on the Cocoa Nugs. And so we have the first Bored Ape. We have board banana split as the flavor, and it's in New York. We're putting it in shops and dispensaries all over the place. We're moving to Colorado next. And Snoop Dogg is following up with the magazine. He is the next celebrity to go on to the cover, and he also followed my footsteps with Bad Empire and picked up a Cocoa Nugs for himself as well. I'm number 9 in the first NFT. He's number 10. So I've been on quite a journey over the past year and a half or so, really like trying to be out here and change the world and take things really to the next level and show people how to do things right.
Wow. That is so awesome. That's a very cool journey. And now I understand why Jose has been poking me about you, that I needed to pay attention to you. We have a very similar walk, my friend. And Jose doesn't even know, to the point of I was also in the weed fields harvesting in Colorado when I got into Web3. And yeah,
that's
to
awesome.
to Sandbox, to Poca City, to a lot of the same walks, to where like my pet project myself is Mullet Cloud Ship, a one-stop shop kind of a metaverse for mostly DAO to DAO stuff, but so cool, so awesome. We have a question in our chat, and I'm going to ask if you can drop any and all of those links in our chat for us. Our people would love to go through those. And what was the name of your edible token? Was it Cocoa Nugs?
Oh yeah, so that's not a token. That is a physical product. We have our
Okay.
Bored Ape. We put it on a physical product. So we have a 500 milligram THC edible. It comes in 10 pieces inside of the jar, and they're 50 milligrams a piece. They are a weed edible, Rice Krispies, flavored with bored banana split. So they're a chocolate covered Rice Krispie that tastes like a banana split, and they're absolutely fire.
So awesome. So cool. Does anyone have any questions for Trip? I'm sure somebody's got questions. What was the name of the one-stop shop project that you're putting together?
So that is cyberspace, CYBR space.io. The pre-registration is open right now until we launch. I opened the pre-registration when we went into the magazine, and that came here to America. We opened up the pre-reg. That is only open until launch. It is only really people who know about it who are going to actually go through and take the time to pre-register. In order to pre-register, you go to the website, you click the little QR code, and you post out the tweet. That tweet has a hashtag cyberspace verified, and then when you connect your Twitter to your cyberspace profile in the future, once we launch, you will get an early adopter badge. That early adopter badge will give you access to a whole bunch of perks on the platform that we are charging for other people. However, the early adopters will get access to that for the entire lifetime of their account.
Awesome. And do we have an actual link on that?
Yeah, let me drop it
I'm
here.
sure
into the
we've got
Townhall.
quite a few in our group that will be interested in that for sure. I just came back from Las Vegas.
Oh, I love Vegas. That's my home city.
Really? Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So I was hanging out with a guy named Mike out there, Vegas Mike, who started a Crypto Mindset Reset and a couple other groups. But he's got a project based out of Denver called Spore Baby. And I guess they sell spores all over the place online. And he just went to a legislation meetup yesterday and spoke at the hearing as a proponent for different mycelial fungi to be legalized in the state.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there's a couple of states that are doing a couple of different like fungus allowances when it comes to like, that kind of stuff, including psychedelically. Like some
Yep.
of,
That's what this
Oregon,
was mainly
Washington, a lot
for.
of them are actually allowing it now, which is
Yeah, super awesome. Free the medicine. Good to see you, Pete. Trip just finished up his story, which was pretty phenomenal. And he's got a few projects he's been
Oh
working
shit.
on. Oh, yeah.
I just missed it. Yeah, I was on another call, unfortunately.
That's all right. I think we're gonna be trying to follow Trip and everything he does. Love to have Trip get involved with metagame. Sounds like we're quite aligned with a lot of stuff that you're doing.
well, I had sent you
Has been showing me.
personally into your inbox. I sent you my Shadow Thorn thing, so that's a new project I'm working on currently, putting together all the pieces for. And I believe that metagame might actually be a decent path to go down for that.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, let's
Where can we check that out?
keep that bridge being built.
Where can we see the
That
project?
is not necessarily checkoutable currently. I'm building, so I built a roadmap for it, and I'm currently putting together the white papers. After that, I'm going to put together the press kit, and then I have like, let's say 5 people currently on the team for that that are working on building out the different pieces to go along with, so that I'll have some showcase videos, some showcase images, some showcase pieces of content, and different showcase information to go along with. But that is nowhere near done. I just started that one 3 days ago.
Nice. Super alpha.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, please do share when it's live.
Yeah, 100%. It would probably be very spammy if I put the entire roadmap here, because it's about 50 slides. So
Yeah, well, Trip, you're welcome to share any and all links in the chat that you want. Don't be afraid about being spammy.
okay.
And anyone else have any other questions for Trip while he's still on before we move on to the next guest? Or Trip, if there's anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap that up.
Oh no, I'm pretty good. Just make sure you guys pre-register for cyberspace. Check out the Kevin Hart stuff. Check out everything we got going on. We are dropping some new alpha this week coming up for the Kevin Hart thing, so that'll be pretty fun.
Awesome. Thank you for the alpha.
Nice. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Oh, Waka has a question. What's your vision for more flavors? You got any bacon and pineapple in the mix?
So actually, we are working. So the Bad Empire has not just the Bored Ape. We have my Mad Hatter, and then we also have a gutter cat, a gutter dog, a gutter bird, and then we have some other ones that are quite rare out there in the world, and we are going to be putting each and every one of them onto a something, whether it is a gummy or whether it is a strain or whether it is an edible or whether it is a cart or a battery pack or a bong or whatever. We're determining different things as we go along for each and every character to kind of suit what their character style is, for the entire podcast that we have going on with all the different avatars.
Well, that's awesome.
And Trip, could you also drop a QR code? The one on your website was a little too small for me. I'm not sure if it's just me.
Yeah, I can. Here, hold on one second. Yeah, I'd seen that. That I think my editor is currently working on that. Because I'd seen that got its size changed yesterday. From what it was to now it's like this tiny little box.
Yeah, and I guess you can still click on it and it still does the function, right? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. You just click it. Yeah, it's not. You don't have to actually scan it or anything. You just click it.
Sweet. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and move on to our next guest, who is, and I hope I don't butcher this because they did tell me how to pronounce this earlier. Osioke? Was that correct? Are you there?
Yeah, Osioke. I just sent like
Osioke.
Osioke, yes.
Right. And
So like
Osioke
Osioke.
is from Growth Clinic, is that right?
Yes, Brooklyn.
Right. Osioke. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then go ahead and get into telling us about your project.
Awesome. I want to share my screen, at least the slides. It will make it easier to. So the whole idea behind what I'm working on is how basically you can take coordinated learning and sharing and use that to improve node quality within a community network. The idea there is can you see my screen?
I'm just pulling it up now.
Not yet. It's loading.
There it is. Growth Clinic System.
Still loading for me. I'm gonna try and reconnect.
I can see it okay. Can everybody else see that?
No. Oh, there we go. Yep.
A link to
All
look
right,
at the
cool.
Yeah. Recording says thumbs up.
Cool. Okay, so the idea here is so within a community I used to manage, I noticed that people would join and learning was always happening. And as that learning happened, it wasn't based on anything we were doing in the community. And this is pre-Web3, Web2 days, within an open source community. And what we noticed was people who joined initially, after a few months of asking questions, they were the ones now answering questions and helping other people along their journey. And it happened without any input from any of us managing the community. And so we wondered what was happening, what is this process? We tried to reverse engineer or go back a few steps to see what made people want to collaborate on their own, how they were able to learn on their own and sort of take that and give back to the community. And so I noticed this back in 2017, and I've since been working on it to try to figure out what that process is. And that's sort of what I want to show here. And so when I say node quality, I sort of mean like the individuals who partake in a community or in a bigger network, whether that individual is a DAO, because now we know DAOs in some states in the US, specifically Utah, DAOs are recognized as individuals, and communities can also be looked at from that perspective. So looking at each of the individuals that partake in a community or in a network, how can we improve the quality that they come in with? And not a lot of DAOs look at it from this perspective, because then almost anybody can join once you buy an NFT or you're interested. But I like kind of MetaFarms and MetaGames process where you have to like define what you want to contribute. And so that is sort of why I figure this is something that would be interesting. How do you improve engagement? How do you improve collaboration by leveraging this system? So let me start. Grow Clinic, what is it? So Grow Clinic is a community-led incubator and accelerator for individuals and the businesses and the communities they create. It's basically growing the community using the community, or helping individuals grow, or whatever businesses they are working on grow, leveraging the communities that they partake in or they create. Why did I jump on all of this? The world is changing, yeah. The way we interact with the internet is also changing. For those of us who were on the internet since Web 1, Web 2, we realize that those of the people who are just coming on board see the internet from a completely different perspective. And the way they interact with the internet is happening through online communities. People shop on Instagram. Now, this is Web 2, speaking a lot to Web 2. And it's a lot of, and it's speaking to Web 2 a lot, because the people who want to bring into Web 3 are sort of coming from that world. Most of them are still trying to figure out what wallets are, why should I have a token, what does this NFT mean? But even if they are not in Web 3, the way they interact with the internet is sort of the Web 3 way within communities. And so what that means is traditional methods of growing or improving yourself or contributing or whatever it is you want to do on the internet is no longer the way it used to be. They're becoming obsolete. You now have to figure out how can you grow with respect to a community or the community you're partaking in. And so for the people who build for this new internet, it means that when you build, the people who would use what you're building or would consume what you're creating, you need to connect with them. It's no longer a case of just pushing or selling. And so you now need to look at community as not just a place, but a state of mind. So the people you sell to become people who connect with your product or service, not just pay for it. And it's important, connection here is important, because when we sort of look at people who pay as just people who consume, and then we abstract the concept of building for them, building with them in mind, not necessarily just building and hey, take this. And so it speaks to what I just said, speaks to communities in general. But what do I mean by community? Community is a group of people with shared interests and goals. And like I said earlier on, we are beginning to realize that communities are becoming individuals. DAOs are becoming individuals. We can look at them as an individual, an entity in a sense. So community in this sense may not just be a group of people, but also be a group of other communities or other DAOs or other organizations. So I'm trying to help us see, I'm using the word community not in the traditional sense of just a group of people, but in a larger sense of whatever aspect we want to take it and apply it. And so this means, and why this is important, especially the shared aspect, is when people come together around a shared goal, depending on how that community is built, people can grow beyond just this shared goal, this shared interest. They can come together and collaborate. And we in Web 2, we saw this with open source projects. And now with Web 3, we are beginning to see it around the things we create, the DAOs we build, the projects we come up with. And as I was speaking to Jose the other day, creative collaborations. People are coming together around things they love and leveraging this to create. And even when this is happening, yeah, it's sort of a missing aspect as to how do I do this with the community that I love. And why this is important is as people come together and share, the community changes. They sort of create their own economy where they are selling to themselves, buying from themselves, creating and consuming. And they grow as this happens. they grow by learning. And it's very important, this aspect of learning, because learning sort of changes the way, learning defines how growth happens within a community, and then also takes that community from just being a place where people are gathering around a shared interest to an economy. And it's also central in defining what can be created. This sort of shows like a step by like a walking on a staircase kind of picture of what I mean or what I'm speaking to, where communities start, people come together, create like this community, this organization, and then based on how they interact and how the coordination happens and what it is they are doing, they move from just being communities to shared economy. And within that shared economy, they are building and creating for themselves. And that building and creating for themselves creates what I like to refer to as shared wealth. And as they do this, people sort of move beyond the community. They grow in that community and sort of, I want to say translate. Translate can be used as a form of, like, say you've contributed to that community, you've done as much what you can, and you're sort of, you no longer have anything to give. But in translating, you're basically becoming the, would I say, the individuals who help other people who are just coming into the community space. You're giving back. And then that starts to show us, or starts to create what we know as ecosystems. We have our traditional ecosystems in the world where you have plants come from seeds, they grow, they die, feed the earth, and it just becomes a self-sustaining loop. This same scenario can happen with the communities and the organizations we create today, where they become their own ecosystem. And we start to see this for some of the DAOs that exist. And as we enable this community to share and this growth happens, innovation starts to, basically people start to create, because of that space allows them to be themselves. The sharing allows them to, what's the word? The sharing allows them to collaborate. This collaboration improves what it is they can create on their own. And if you look at, for instance, now you're talking, let me give a random example. You go into a group of people talking about a random topic, say just a part of that topic, say football and or soccer, depending on which part of the world you're from. And you're talking about football with respect to what you know. By the time you leave that group or that group you're talking with, you leave with the knowledge every other person has shared. And so your knowledge increases exponentially with respect to the people there. And so that's what I'm trying to speak to with respect to sharing within a community and how that leads to innovation. You leave better informed. And if this sharing happens within a context of creation, you're able to innovate around this. This is speaking a bit more to what I was saying, where that community that has been enabled through sharing and learning can create certain things for themselves. These are some of the things I found out, and I'm still learning through my research as to, okay, this can happen. Where basically one is, you find that when communities are guided through a learning process and that learning is centered around creation, they can take pain points they have and create tools that solve these pain points. They can improve on what the solutions they have by leveraging the shared knowledge of that community, by working through specific frameworks that can guide them, and a few other things. I've been speaking to learning, and it sort of feels a bit abstract. So bringing it down, the concept I'm trying to speak to is basically a system of coordinated learning and sharing. Because then you find that within communities, we all come, we share, there's no way to track, or there's no way to say, like, this is the path to take when you want to learn and share. And following this path would take you down or lead you to this goal. And so I sort of figured a system where there's specific learning paths you can take that would lead to the innovation I'm speaking about. Now, you can combine other frameworks and come up with something different. But the idea is, what is the most useful way I can use this research or these things I'm speaking to create something? And this system is called the Growth Innovation System. And this pie chart, this Venn diagram just shows like an overview of it, where the learning is happening through frameworks, mental models, or thinking frameworks, like I like to refer to them. And these thinking frameworks are broken down as smart micro content. And the people who leverage this are the local, where these local contributors are basically are basically the local community. That's your community, not necessarily local like with respect to your locality, but local from the perspective of a developer, your local host, like the community you interact with, the people you're always engaging with. By working with them and working with knowledge and the cultures that impact just that group, you're able to better, collaborate. Collaborate is still a good word. And the system is a bit more complicated than this, but I'm just trying to see how to not speak, say too much gibberish. Then this slide sort of shows like a more in-depth perspective to the system, where a community comes in with a problem they have or a goal they want to achieve, because that goal is a problem, they haven't achieved it yet. And by going through a set of frameworks or mental models, they come up with a solution. That solution is improved on till it becomes something they can use, and they created themselves. And these mental models I'm speaking to or they already exist. What I'm sort of just trying to create is collect them into a flow that you go through and you have that aha moment. One of them being design thinking, which is a popular mental model already. And the reason why this, I feel it's important or is useful, not necessarily important, the reason why I feel it's useful is people create every time. But how can we take the best of the creations, the people who create, how can we take the process they use and apply it ourselves? The way I see it is basically taking the recipe they applied and taking that recipe and being able to use it within our own project. And the recipes that people use to build are called basically mental models. And so in taking these mental models and applying them in the process, in a way, in a series of steps, the community can grow from just being engaging around shared interest to creating something useful. And these are some of the things I mean when I say useful. This is just visually showing everything I just mentioned. And it now changes the way innovation, learning, research, ideation happens, where previously it would happen from a one-to-one or one-to-few basis to a distributed mesh network where everybody is engaging and sharing within themselves, and their knowledge is improving based on the interactions they have. And so it's no longer just a place where you talk and come and converse around hobbies, but then those hobbies you're using and leveraging the interactions to create something new that solves or improves your life. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. That's more or less.
Wow, that was pretty amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'll open up the floor to any questions from anyone first. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. First of all, thank you so much for sharing that. I thought that was very interesting. I just wanted to hear more about what was your experience like in Web 2 with community and with growth.
When you say my experience with community and growth in Web 2, what do you mean?
Yeah, I
Thank
saw.
you for the context.
Yeah, in one of the earlier slides, you mentioned you were doing this for Web 2 communities.
Oh no, so I mean I was trying to speak to where the inspiration for this came from. It's not necessarily I've applied this not within Web 2 communities, but more to. So let me put it like this. So traditionally, communities within the Web 2 space were always around hobbies or interests or brands. And we had certain communities that were collaborating and creating. Traditionally, we would find these communities within open source projects. And their communities were always coming together to help to create. Web3 brings a new narrative where these communities are no longer about brands, but about things they value and things they want to create. So what can we learn? What basically this is taking the learnings I have seen from the Web2 world, the Web2 space, the communities in that space, how they were able to collaborate, and how that can be applied to improve collaboration within Web3, improve quality of the individuals partaking within these distributed communities or networks in Web3. I don't know if does that speak to what you were asking, Rika?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I already see a good use case for us, and possibly using your project. We have something called the Brain Exchange, and it's kind of been an ongoing little quest where we try to offer up our own skills and experiences to our other community members and say, hey, I know a lot about this subject, and so I'd be happy to offer up an AMA or a course if anyone's interested. And then kind of people are able to signal what their interest, whether they'd like to learn more about it or go through courses about it or something like that. And I think we've lacked a little bit in a structure to make that a bit more I don't know, get more actionable items out of it or have it flow better. This seems like a good way to maybe implement that.
Definitely sounds interesting. Definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah, we've had quite a few different classes held internally, and even small projects spawned out of the Brain Exchange, but it's overall been a kind of underutilized area of metagame that I think would be, you know, serve us all better if we utilized it a little more or had a better workflow for it, like maybe utilizing your platform.
Yeah. So it's less of a platform, more of a so it's not like I built like a platform. It's more of a set of steps or processes or ways to just think about collaboration. And definitely I'm open to that.
Okay, right. Yeah, nice. So it's more of a structure or kind of like a standard you can kind of follow along with to help along your journey.
Exactly. So I shared it to someone and he said, "Oh, this is like a protocol," and I was like, "Huh, that's an interesting word to use." But yeah.
So how do you think that you'll deploy this? Will it be just kind of like an open source of knowledge on a website somewhere?
Okay. Let me share a link. So let me share a link. So I currently use Discourse for this. To just host it. The way I deployed it is to put it like a learning playlist, more or less, where you have different links and you can go through each with prompts attached to each link. And by following each, I think sharing the link first will make it easier to, and then I'll share my screen.
Cool.
So this is the link. And then let me share my screen. So yeah. So basically, it combines these mental models and click one. So this is when I spoke to like smart micro content, this is sort of what I was trying to show. Like basically taking something complex and breaking it down into a simple set of steps, going to the meat of that material. And then it's kind of like when you read a book and then there's this do this now part of that book. and you do it and you better understand what the author was trying to say. So I'm trying to do that for the mental models we know and would apply for work. And so have the task that you can immediately do to understand design thinking. Have a set of tasks that you can immediately do to understand business model thinking. And basically help people understand how their projects can become more useful or can create the wealth they want or need. So it may not apply to every project, but this is just one way to think about it. And so the set of steps are for the design. This is a very generic process for I put up here. For each project I work with, I try to personalize the prompts. So if someone wanted to learn design thinking, the concept would be, and this is just basically taking what Stanford has for their crash course, which is no longer online, and basically helping people just go through this process. So for you complete, like I said, you complete different tasks to learn each step in the design thinking process. And on completing these tasks, you would have learned something around design models or methods or abilities. So to start, the first task, get a partner, get a way to record notes. And there's like an explanation or points that people would need to note. Then how do you empathize? How do you learn to empathize when you want to design solutions? And so I walk people through a set of prompts that they can ask. So you ask the partner about the last time they gave a gift, what happened. And in doing this, people move from a state of, I don't know how this person feels, or I don't know this person's experience, to, okay, this is how this is what you basically build empathy to that person's problems or your partner's problems or the community you're trying to build for you better understand them. And I think it's really important because when we look at communities, one of the key skills the community builder needs to have is empathy. When you're working within a community, you need to understand how to relate to people. But there really isn't any process or school or set of steps people can go through to learn what empathy is. It's always a case of either you have empathy or you don't. I'm trying to say it's possible to learn it by doing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
basically, and more steps, each of these is like a step. And for each of the mental models, we could go through each one like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for further explaining that. It makes a lot more sense to me now. Yeah, and we could use this process to basically help build out our framework as we need it, as we want it customized, as we want it displayed. But this can help our maybe frame our whole brain exchange program in a better flow through using this model.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. I like it.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions or thoughts?
This is not a question, it's more of a thought comment. I was just going to say that I think that framework is pretty high quality, because if you take like a course on Coursera or Udemy, which I've done before, I'm sure that a lot of people on this call have also, the courses like on design thinking, for example, they can be so robotic and you feel like it's just like a process flow and it's not really something that you can apply. So I think there's a really big opportunity case for projects to change the way that people learn. So basically like a Coursera or like an Udemy, just more high quality. Because I don't think anyone has actually taken one of the courses and been like, oh, this is something that I can apply, or this was something that was very useful.
Yeah, very, very true. Very true. It's sort of what I was trying to achieve because growing up, I didn't learn learning was hard for me because you would always find people just speaking to and expecting me to understand. So I always had to take what I would want to learn and change it to what I understood. And I realized that if I did that for other people, it became easier for them to understand the concepts. And if you look at like Duolingo, the process Duolingo uses to teach languages, or even forgetting Duolingo, if you look at medicine, the process you use to learn medicine, there's a whole lot of learn by doing involved when you do your attachments, your housemanships, and all of that. But with the new skills we need for Web3, there really isn't any way you can test your skills. It's always the case, go and read this article or read the code behind Solidity or this or that, or understand what it is by yourself. But with task-based learning and basically taking the mental models people use and finding ways to break that down, you're changing learning and making it more social in a sense. And it no longer seems like something abstract, but it's something you're applying right now. Yeah.
Very awesome. And just as a little bit of a side comment, I really loved a lot of your graphics in your pitch deck. Those were really cool. I liked them a lot.
Thank you. I'll tell my designer. She'll be really excited.
Nice. Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from anyone? Or is there anything else that you'd like to share before I think we can probably end the call here pretty soon. Doesn't look like we have any comments in the chat either. So I'll just say, hey, thank you so much for coming and showing us all of that. And I think quite a few of us here, but also others who weren't able to make it, but will be reviewing our video later on, will also probably be digging into that. Did we get that full? Yeah, you got that link down there in our chat. Appreciate that. Ochoke, Oshoke and Trip, thank you both. Awesome having you all on the metagame community call. Very cool stuff what you're both involved with. And let us know if there's anything that we can do to help support you all. You know, do you have any pain points or any, type of devs or marketers or content creators that you need? We've got quite a few different types of talents in here. You can always jump in here and pull from the Octos.
Nothing from me, but yeah, this was really awesome. This was really awesome.
Nice. Glad you enjoyed it. We love our community calls. We learn so much from others, and we often put them to work here, and sometimes even integrate our tech together. And yeah, we love collaboration. Love that you took the time to seek out that word earlier.
Thank you. Definitely, I'm looking forward to implementing this with you guys.
Yeah. Us too. Yeah, I'm specifically going to be looking at our brain exchange and seeing how we can maybe revamp it a little bit and get more out of it. There's so much. It's funny if you go through our channel Brain Exchange, there's so much talent and experience just sitting there like, hey, I know all this stuff. Does anybody want to know it?
Yo, is Jose, you there, my bro?
What is it? What was it? And yeah, just to make it official, that does conclude our community call. Anyone's welcome to leave without feeling funny about it.
Thank you. Really
Also
nice, John Ocho.
Yeah. Also welcome to hang out. Some of us kind of just hang out later and talk about more stuff or jump in on some projects or whatever.
Cool. We'll do. Then we go grab some dinner.
Hey. Jose.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Jose, can you hear us? Hey.
Hey, there he
Hey.
is. Nice.
I was yes, I was. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't have too much battery, but it's really slow to allow me to open my mic. Can you repeat what happened?
You gonna close us out with some music?
Oh, sure. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, no rush, bro.
Ooh.
We couldn't really close it without that, you know.
Right?
The universe will stop ticking.
Yeah.
Dude, all I'm gonna say is it's a blast to bridge to ZK Sync. You know, ZK EVM, sorry. It's nice because you don't pay for it. You just sign a
No.
transaction.
Yeah.
It's lovely. I forgot about that from doing it on testnet.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'm like,
It's the
yeah,
best roll-up.
I'll just send it off.
No changing networks, no bridging, no just use it.
And what's really cool, one sec, baby. It's really cool is like I just checked out the ecosystem and Cbridge is there. So you can go from any subnet to ZK. You can go from ZK to any subnet.
Exactly what you were just talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Hey.
It just
what's up.
those cogs just started turning in my head. I was like, oh snap.
Like, oh, I just got some seeds. Okay, time to
Hey.
go do some airdrop hunting.
Nice. Wait, seeds just dropped.
They came through.
Or
Couple
recently?
couple
Like
days.
oh,
1
okay,
day, 2
okay.
days.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought you meant like again. I was like, what?
No.
Y a veces me aferro tanto a los momentos que cuando se acaban me causan dolor. Y ese es mi karma de tanto soñar. Que el tiempo todo lo cambia, que el tiempo es transformación, que el tiempo es una distancia que cambia la percepción. Tu frío quítamelo, no me entregues nada. La eterna madrugada nos mira en un rincón. Bailaba sin distracción la canción de la muerte. Nuestro código inherente también se hizo canción. Tanto talento que tienen tus ojos tardíos. Muero de risa con todos tus juegos mentales. El argumento más denso ahora es la brisa de tus valores tan tiernos y tan siderales. Y conecto los puntos a tiempo con rimas. Y tú no sabes de dónde van mis disparates. Que manifiesto seguido en los medios días. Que dan color de mi esencia a tus realidades. Y a veces despierto en plena madrugada, como pidiendo a gritos un color, una tonalidad más clara, que luces también color, y notas musicales o signos zodiacales. El arte es un motor. Tu frío quitámoslo, no me entregues nada. La eterna madrugada nos mira en un rincón. Bailaba sin distracción la canción de la muerte. Nuestro código inherente también se hizo canción. Tanto talento que tienen tus ojos tardíos. Muero de risa con todos tus juegos mentales. El argumento más denso ahora es la brisa de tus valores tan tiernos y tan siderales. Canto y conecto los puntos a tiempo con rimas. Y tú no sabes de dónde van mis disparates. Que manifiesto seguido en los medios días. Que dan color de mi esencia a tu realidad. Happy Friday!
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Sorry, darling. Yeah, I was a bit
A
too
little
loud there.
excited.
Yeah.
Were you saying that
She's
to
always
Jose?
like, "Come, you're being too loud." I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You were saying that to Jose.
What?
Well,
The other day?
yeah. Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Sorry, please go slow. Go slow. I can't laugh because I don't know what is happening, what is funny.
We love you. We love you, and your music is
No,
fantastic.
my
and
daughter
sends
was
out great
telling
vibes.
my daughter was telling me to be quiet. I was being too loud. But it's all right now. Yeah, she's just hungry.
We all
Oh,
turn
man.
into Joe Pesci when we're hangry.
No,
Keep it down over there. I'm thinking about num nums.
Give me a
Thinking
Snickers
about
bar.
Give me a Snickers.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Well, what's the move now? Let me stop the recording now.
American
'cause
diabetes.
then we can
Feeling
we can
hangry?
really
Snap
talk.
into a
You know, I'm gonna
Snickers.
fade it out right here. Yeah.
Fade to black.
Well, this is the secret of the universe. Hear this out.